The world is entering a period of heightened uncertainty. Now, more than 2 months into President Trump's second term, tariffs and protectionist policies are testing global powers and traditional Western alliances.
Donald Trump is a protectionist. He believes that this is the right policy. Most of us as economists think it's the wrong policy.
We're here at this year's China Development Forum, where global business leaders and Nobel Prize-winning economists have gathered to share their insights on the future of the world economy and China's role as a source of stability.
If the United States is becoming protectionist, China should become more open.
Today, we have the privilege of speaking with Professor Jeffrey Sachs, one of the world's most renowned economists and a leading voice on global affairs. In our conversation, we discuss Trump's trade wars, China's response, the rise of AI, the Taiwan question, and the shifting dynamics between China, the United States, and Russia. We've gone a few minutes, so I would just go to the questions. We have been 2 months into Trump's return to the office, and we have seen he has imposed tariffs on many countries under promise to make America great again. But in reality, these same actions has weakened American institutions and escalated tensions with other countries. So why does Washington want to pursue what many see as a lose-lose strategy, and who are the people shaping these policies?
I think Donald Trump is a protectionist. He believes that this is the right policy. Most of us as economists think it's the wrong policy. It's really a difference of point of view. In this case, I don't think he's representing the business sector or even the views of his political backers. I think he's representing his own point of view that this will recreate American manufacturing and establish many jobs in the U.S. I do not believe that this will be the case.
But why does Washington persist with tariffs if these tariffs will not make the lives of American people better?
Washington is persisting because this is right now the choice of the president. It is not voted by the U.S. Congress. It is not voted, of course, by the public. It is not based on new legislation. It's not based on a political debate that took place in the United States. It's the decisions of the president. He is making these decisions using provisions say that the president can declare emergencies. When he declares an emergency, such as a fentanyl emergency, this at least superficially gives him the power to make this decision by himself without the need for Congress to vote this. If the Congress were required to vote for these tariffs, I believe they would not be approved.
Mm-hmm. You have long advocated for China-US cooperation over confrontation, but with Washington persist with tariffs, China responded with strong countermeasures. How to assess China's response, and if you were advising Chinese policymakers, how should China respond?
I think that there are two main issues that we need to pay attention to. First, China should keep a very open policy with all the rest of the world. And China should even open up more to foreign investment, to partnerships, and by the way, to foreign investment both incoming into China and foreign investment from Chinese companies to produce in other parts of the world. Also, I believe the renminbi should become increasingly internationalized. China should maintain and expand cooperation programs like the Belt and Road Initiative. So if the United States is becoming protectionist, China should become more open, not more protectionist. It should not follow the US. I think this is clear to Chinese policy leaders. Second, I would distinguish between tariff policy and military policy. For tariff policy, Trump is being protectionist. On military and security issues, we don't know yet what the Trump administration will do. My own advice is to reduce the American military presence in East Asia, to cut back the amount of military personnel in Japan and Korea and elsewhere, to work with China on nuclear arms control, to stop exporting armaments to Taiwan, because I think that that is a provocation that the United States should not undertake. So it could be that Trump will pursue a tariff policy which will be aggressive, but he could perhaps pursue a peace agenda at the same time, that is on the security side. I very much hope so. During the Biden administration, there was a lot of focus on building America's military presence in East Asia. To my mind, this was a very bad mistake and quite destabilizing and provocative. We still wait to see what President Trump will do on this.
You mentioned Taiwan. Taiwan has been the most sensitive issues between China and the US. What's the US trying to achieve by playing the Taiwan card? And what's your take on the claim Taiwan could be the next Ukraine?
I believe that the United States should stay out of the Taiwan issues. I believe that this is a matter between the mainland and Taiwan to resolve peacefully. I believe that the two sides should go back to the consensus of 1992, as it's called, which operates as one China and two systems and peaceful relations across the straits. I believe that if the United States stays out of this issue, it will lead to peace in the Taiwan Straits and across the straits. If the United States meddles in this issue, it could risk conflict, just like in Ukraine. Ukraine is a conflict that arose because the United States got too involved with a country on Russia's border. It should not have done so. It was a provocation to Russia. I want the United States to stop provoking other countries.
Many political scientists have floated the idea that the US and Russia could team up to contain China. What's your opinion on this?
I do not believe that the US and Russia will team up against China. I think Russia will not make such a simple mistake because Russia should not trust the United States in any event, nor do I believe that we should have any such confrontation or teaming up in the world. I don't want Russia and China to team up against the United States. I don't want the United States and Russia to team up against China. I believe the world needs to be not only peaceful and non-confrontational, but also cooperative.
Does US have a long-term strategy towards China?
The United States, until recently, has had the strategy of trying to be the number one power in the world and to remain that way. I think this is contradicted by reality, in which we have a multipolar world. The United States has no cause for trying to dominate other parts of the world or to lead other parts of the world or to believe that it is alone the dominant power in the world. So the reality is we are a multipolar world. The question is whether multipolarity will be managed peacefully or confrontationally, and there's an overwhelming reason to manage it peacefully.
I want to ask a bit about AI. Have you tried the Chinese AI model DeepSeek?
I use DeepSeek every day because in the software that I use to ask questions, to get data, DeepSeek is part of the system. So I use DeepSeek every day. It's very successful and I rely on it.
Despite the sanctions, China developed powerful AI tools like DeepSeek. Why has US triple war in China has failed to stop China's progress? And do you think China's AI approach challenged the dominance of Western big tech-led closed AI ecosystems?
I've always believed, and I've said many times over the past 30 years, that no country has a monopoly on knowledge, on science, on innovation. I don't believe in chokeholds where one country is able to stop another. The US has long believed that it could keep other countries down, but that has been a mistaken view. China is a great power in science and technology. It has a very successful innovation system. It promotes private sector innovation, and it uses the instruments of public policy for innovation very effectively. This is all to the good, not only for China, but for the world, because when China innovates, the benefits are worldwide. Some people in the United States keep talking about the US lead. So they were very surprised by DeepSeek. They are very surprised when China makes great strides, for example, in electric vehicles, that BYD now can recharge a car in 5 minutes. This was a shock even last week, but it is really a great benefit for everybody in the world.
But are you worried this technological divergence could split the world into competing AI blocks?
The American attitude is not cooperative. The American attitude is confrontational right now. And the US approach is to try to limit China's advances. It doesn't work. The US approach is also to try to contain China. This obviously also doesn't work. I think all of these measures are going to do more to isolate and harm the US than they are going to harm China. I urge every day that the US have an open and non-confrontational approach towards China.
Thank you so much, Professor Sachs.
Thank you very much. Good, thank you.
Yeah.